a 72 CB450 that I picked up last week, and so I'm going to kind of create a series of videos going through my whole build. So this CB I picked up to build into a vintage road racing motorcycle. There is a historic motorcycle road racing association called ARMA, and so ARMA has a class called Novice Historic Production. So it's geared toward novice riders or maybe somebody who hasn't raced in a long time. There's a limited number of motorcycles that they allow into this class, and or a limited number of models, I should say, and a CB450 is one of them. Pretty much everything, I shouldn't say that everything has to be stock, but you have to use stock seat, stock tank, OEM frame, OEM forks, OEM handlebar mounts. You're allowed to put clubman bars on it, which, if you can kind of see, are this angled shape, but it's still a full continuous bar similar to a clip-on handlebar. And so I picked this bike up last week down in Wichita, Kansas from a friend of mine, and he bought this to be a project a handful of years ago, and it's been sitting, and so now it's my new project. But I've got 3 or 4 tubs full of parts for it, so everything is mostly there, and then there's a lot of stuff that's going to need to be rebuilt or replaced. So that's kind of what this video series is about. Before I picked it up, I did a little bit of work, or I guess I should say before I brought it home, I did a little bit of work on it with my friend down there in Kansas. We actually had the opportunity to go and look at another CB450 that had been raced in ARMA about 20 years ago in a different race class. And so this guy had kind of set it up more towards like a GP style. So there was a lot of things that he had done that I'm not allowed to do. But one of the things that I did notice that he did was he eliminated the charging system. And after a little bit more research, I found that there's a lot of people who eliminate the charging system. So I've already done that. You'll notice there's really not any wiring on here anymore, because we're not going to run headlights, we're not going to run tail lights. Really the only wiring that's left is right up here for the ignition coils and to charge the points for the ignition system. So I've already taken the stator out. The magnet is still in the case, and so in a later video I'll probably talk about that a little bit more. Today my big goal is to get kind of the back end of the bike apart. I'd like to get the rear wheel and the swing arm off today. I'm going to cut some of these brackets off the frame to reduce some weight, and then in the next couple of weeks I'll need to mock up a kind of a rear hoop for the back of the frame since the frame was cut. So that's kind of where I'm going with this, and I'm going to get to work. Alright, so my goal today was to get the rear wheel off the motorcycle, get the swing arm off the motorcycle, and then cut all of the unnecessary brackets off the frame. And so I'm going to say mission accomplished. I've got a little bit more work to do to clean up the brackets from the center stand. I'm not allowed to have a center stand. I'm not allowed to have a regular old kickstand. So I'm just getting rid of those brackets because this bike is going to be a race bike for the rest of its life. And so back here I've got the brackets for the, why am I drawing a blank here? For the rear foot peg brackets. Those were welded to the frame. I got those cut off, all cleaned up. Again, a little bit more work to do cleaning up the center stand brackets that are going away. But frankly, I've been at this for a while. I'm kind of tired and I need a new grinding wheel. So I'm going to call it a day. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Please continue to follow along with my build and like this video if you enjoyed it. Thanks again, guys. See ya.